All right, well, good afternoon and welcome to the CI Coaches Show, brought to you by the Hawthorne Quarterback Club. I'm Matt Surrency, your host. Thanks for joining us for now our sixth episode. Can you believe it's been 6 episodes already?
Nah, time flies.
Time flies. We're halfway through the season, the regular season. We're certainly planning on postseason, as everybody has hopes for. But there's a lot of football to be played between now and then.
Yep.
We're going to recognize some of our sponsors. We've had a lot going on this week, especially with a home game coming up. But we also have a lot of people that tuned in last week while we made the trip down to St. Pete. Mm-hmm. And I know that was big for the program. And we had people really all over the world tuning in.
Yep.
I know Sway's family from down in Chile were tuning in. And so we had a lot of different recognition throughout the area and people watching all over the country. So it's nice to see people chiming in on that and participating where they couldn't previously. But right now, let's recognize some of our sponsors. We want to first recognize our regular sponsors, our what we consider our platinum sponsors of the program: A&R Construction Concepts, Little Giant Farmers Market, anonymous donors from the class of 1989, Derek Collins, the Quarterback Club president, gold sponsors, L&T Express, John and Robin Turk, Hawthorne Insurance, Donna Bowles, Diane's Old Time Barbecue, Diane Tillman, Aesthetic Printing, Reeb Inc., Florida Septic, Susan Finley, today's actually her birthday, Burger Barn, Mike there, he's there for everything. There's almost another category for some of these people because you always see them in every program, every event, they're always there. Moore's Metalworks, Southern State Duckmasters, the parents of the program, the Barnett Deep Creek, Raised Metals. We also had Edward Jones Investments, Cantley Roofing, Whole Home Pro. Actually, Whole Home Pro, Sean Derrick there. Yep. I know I sent you a picture and I posted it on Facebook. Yep. But this week's going to be pretty special. We're still getting the kinks worked out of it, but normally during the broadcast, whenever I talk, I can't even hear myself. That's basically almost like sticking my fingers in my ear the entire time trying to talk and hoping people can hear me. Yeah. But now we got it figured out to where we have a mixer. We have, it looks like ESPN with a score on the bottom. Oh, yeah, you're big advertising, time. Everything. So it's a new kind of like a news area for our area, for Hawthorne. It's hawthornehub.com.
Yeah. Did I see the weather in the corner as well?
Weather was in the corner. We're going to have sponsors scrolling. And as we get more, the idea is to get more of these kids involved, have everybody a reason for being a part of the program. And so more of these kids that maybe aren't traditional football players or, FFA,
regular students, whoever.
Regular students, just like Zach. I mean, Zach down there doing the film, his stuff is going to be able to be fed up to the computer, and we're going to be able to get some real-time footage. And when the official makes a bad call, we'll be able to post that and say, look here.
No, that's nice. No, that's nice. That's nice.
And then eventually, once we get the big scoreboard and everything else,
everything's going to tie in.
There. Yep. So it's going to be sweet. But if any students are interested in being part of the broadcast, or anybody in general wants to be a part of the broadcast, whether it's holding a phone and shooting a camera for us, or it's being involved in the production part of it, even keeping stuff like down and distance, throwing a flag, any of that stuff, we can put it on there. So thanks, Sean Derrick, for heading that up for us and the technical stuff. Definitely. And also working with Zach Ford at ZKH Films. We had Reeb Inc., Heather Surrency, Watson Realty, First Choice Plumbing, Billy Harrod, he's still involved in the broadcast and helping us out. Actually, we're using his tripod right now. Gotham City Optics, Central Florida Fence and Tree Service, Eden Baptist Church, Kids in Positive Places, changing the world one life at a time. So we certainly appreciate all those people being involved. We had one more that I wanted to make sure I got in, and I'll have to look it up later, but they'll be on the broadcast itself. But we had some sponsors come in that didn't get recognized last time, and I want to make sure that I want to recognize them. And I know you said Cameo Towns.
Yep, Cameo Towns. Who else was it? Jeremy Gordon.
Jeremy Gordon.
Yep. So this is barbershop. So there's a lot of people involved. Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, last week obviously made the big trip down to St. Pete. Went down there on their homecoming. Yes. They had the lit up Jeeps and everything else going around down there.
It was nice.
Interesting. And they did a good job putting that on. And it was a fun time down there. Good weather, good chance to get the kids on the road and see something different.
Yep. Whenever you have to travel, over 2 hours, you worry about how the guys are going to come out. So I actually took a different approach doing warm-ups where we kind of do, a hitting drill where we wake up before practice right? It was a long trip. Of course, we had to sit down and eat and travel over to the school. So not our normal routine. I felt like we were kind of flat in warm up. So, right, as the head coach, I have to make some adjustments. So I kind of just stopped the stretch lines. I stopped the stretch lines, and then we kind of hit. We woke up, and then we kind of started back over, and I think that helped us a lot because on any given night, you can be knocked off.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say the guys weren't focused, but kind of lackadaisical. So I just took it upon myself to switch it up, just for the betterment of the team, and our guys made the adjustment. But once it was kickoff, we were ready to play.
And they have some really talented kids
Yes.
on the other side.
Yes.
I mean, it's not taking anything away from them. We obviously, on paper, would beat them on paper, but you still have to play the game, just
Still
like
have
you're
to play
saying,
the
any given night, and so you had to wake your team up.
Yep.
Obviously, we went out there, controlled the game, controlled it from the defensive line of scrimmage. They really didn't move the ball much on us, but the special teams.
Special teams, yeah,
Special teams was an issue.
teams.
And the kid was fast.
Yeah, no. He was, and Avon Isaac is probably one of the fastest kids I've ever coached. The kid they had returning the ball, he hit the right lanes and he hit them full speed. So we worked on coverage. Yesterday in practice, we did some different drills. I challenged the guys in those drills. So I think we'll be a little bit more prepared going into Friday night. But not taking anything away from their team, they blocked it the right way, and we actually saw it on film. Basically where they wanted to return the ball, and so we made the adjustments this week. That kind of stuff happens, but I think we were lights out, of course, on offense and defense, and then outside of those big returns, which were big returns, we were solid after that.
Well, in 49-13, there was a lot of good plays throughout the game on our part, on defense and on offense. And there was good special teams.
Yes.
We had plenty of opportunity
Yep.
for special teams
Yep.
to happen. So that was good to see
Yep.
that they fixed those corrections. But just overall, what is your opinion as far as where we're at right now, midway through the season?
Man, I was very pleased with the way we were balanced on offense. I think CJ probably had a career high as far as throwing over 300 plus yards, hitting multiple receivers in the pass game, and we were still allowed to have Keenan rush for over 100 yards, which is awesome as an offense. So probably one of the best games I've seen CJ play. There were certain throws he made on Friday. I kind of looked at the coaching staff, and he's still kind of coming off that ankle injury. So there's not a whole lot we're trying to do with him in the run game. Now, I think he's close to 90% now, where we can start back using his legs. But, him being a smart kid, he was staying away from the traffic. He was drifting away from defenders, making throws down the field to all of the guys who were involved in the passing game. Just showing, how much he's improved as a passer. And then just a leader. Like, he has all of the respect. He trusts all of these guys as far as running routes and doing the right things in the pass game. And he's trying to get everyone to football. So I was very pleased with him. He had some big time throws that we were able to see it on film, after the game. And I'm like, I never threw a ball like that in my high school career. So he was awesome. Of course, Vaughn was awesome. We had some big plays out of Caleb where he made a huge catch right down the middle of the field on a deep post right before halftime, maybe for 70 or 80 yards. So those are the kind of guys. Matthew McKinley, he was able to get downfield and make some plays. So very pleased with our offensive skill guys, and then still being able to rush over 100 yards in the run game with great effort from Keenan Johnson, who's been outstanding all year, and then of course the offensive line who's led by Torrance Myers. They were phenomenal all night.
Well, and something that was impressive to see is what's maybe been different in the past, and not taking anything away from the guys in the past, but I think we have more broad range of talent and aggressiveness, especially at the receiver core, that each one of those guys, you talk about McKinley and Vaughn and Rollerson going up, be able to get the ball and fight for it versus, so those 50-50 balls are now 80-20 where our guys are taking them away. And some of that's just weight room work.
Yeah, no, it's weight room. I think all of those guys, of course, had an outstanding off season. And then they're, super competitive kids. So they want to come down with that football. And, I don't think they get enough credit, because, of course, the fans and family members, they don't know what happens in practice, or they don't understand what's really going on the sidelines. There's been plenty of times where a kid like Alvon would come up to me in the huddle and was like, hey, coach, let me run this as a decoy route. And then let's be honest, he's a special guy. He's one of those guys we should be trying to find ways to get him the ball. But he's so unselfish, he's running routes for his teammates to get open. I'm talking about never had an attitude problem or an issue with the kid. And then Caleb, he's the same way. Like all these guys, they run routes for each other to get the other guys open. And I think that just make us, more special as a unit.
And, a lot of that's happened. I've come out here several times, and you can still spin a ball pretty good.
Yeah, I can throw it. I can definitely throw it.
But I come out here and I've seen even the guys sticking around after practice running routes together. And so seeing that, they put in those times, those catches we're seeing now were really made in those weeks before, those months before.
Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. There's so many guys, like, they continue to work on their craft even after workouts, even after our practices. So I'm happy the success, coming to all these guys because when you see the hard work, a lot of them really deserve it. So it's coming to pass, man. No matter what week it is, once we break it down, coaches are walking off the field. Right, there's a group of guys going to their position area. Right, might be doing more backpedaling stuff. Might be running routes. Might be just taking a picture of that football once they catch it. So a lot of guys are doing a lot of behind the scene things that a lot of people don't even know about. So. That's a recipe for success.
Yeah. And, well, you talk about the leadership of CJ as well, too. So he reminds me a lot of you whenever you were there. Not a big rah-rah guy, but silent. And whenever he speaks, people listen. And it's more confident reinforcement and a coach on the field.
No, he helps us out, man. He demands the huddle. All of the guys have the utmost respect for him. And he knows how to play the position. And I think he's just one of those natural-born leaders where he's taking a lot of pressure off of the coaching staff, especially the offensive side of the ball. Because, of course, he knows all the plays. He knows where guys, need to be. And now they're hearing it from their peer. So it's not like a coach is yelling at them or giving them a hard time or coaching them really hard. But they're hearing it from their teammate, their leader. So it kind of comes off different. They really, really want to sell out for their teammates. So he's been outstanding all year with that, even when, there were games where, he probably couldn't push off to throw the football or we couldn't use him in the run game. But his leadership qualities has helped us win games, and it'll continue to do so. And then we know his development as far as a passer, as a runner would come along because he just turned 16, so you're still talking about a baby who it's a young kid who's the leader of the football team. But he's been great along with a lot of the other guys. I'm glad I had the opportunity to coach all these kids.
Yeah, and it's a real special group. Now, the defense, we're seeing a lot of different guys getting involved. Start of the season, it was. You would see a lot of the same names, but now you're seeing a lot more guys getting involved. I think they're getting more confidence. They're finding their way. What do you see from the defense?
Oh, man, we're flying around. Man had an interception on Friday night. Tremaine. He had an interception on Friday night, and he was in the right place at the right time. But just coming into the season. With so many good returning players, especially on the defense side of the ball, he was one of those underrated guys. But he's probably been our best secondary guy all year. I mean, he's been vocal. He's been physical in the run game, coming down here to make tackles, and now he's covering guys in space or tackling in space. He had a big play. My son Kai, he's coming along. Right, he's getting his feet wet. He made some plays on Friday night. Of course, Dimitri Perry, I think he was underrated last year, of course, with a stud like Jalen Ruth at the other defensive end. Perry has been making plays all year. He plays with that energy and passion you need as a defensive player, right? And we still haven't named Leland Johnson, right? Who can shut down, any offense by himself almost at times. Of course, Jordan Llewellyn and Zion, who's our lockdown cornerbacks. Gent, who's been one of those underrated players. So I can go on and on about all these guys. Darby, who he's also an offensive lineman for us. He's been playing some D tackles, making plays. This is a special group, man. They play for each other. I can't even imagine, because we'll continue to get better where this defense can end up being by playoff time.
It's fun to watch, and normally, a lot of people come to the games to watch offense.
Yes.
That's the the attractive part.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part.
Uh-huh.
But that defense is something else.
Yeah.
The energy and passion they play with, it's almost like they don't even want the other team to get to the other side of the 50.
Yeah. And I think, when I was at Florida, people would always ask, even my time right after Florida, what was the toughest game? And I would always say almost practice.
Right.
Because I was playing against, future NFL players or all conference players every single day in practice. So there's times where I'm the scout team quarterback, right? And we get the trash talking to the defense, and it's like, okay, 8 more plays, and then those 8 more plays will turn into 30 more plays. Because if I get the last laugh with a good ball downfield, all right, let's go, bring it up. They're like, no, coach, we're not leaving. So they're super competitive, and I really do believe iron sharpens iron.
Right.
And we feel like we're going against some of the best guys every single day on both sides of the ball, and it only makes us better for Friday night.
Well, and we talk about this Friday night. We have Union County. First of all, we get to go back home and come back here to Anime Phillips Stadium and play. Field looks a lot better. I mean, Tracy and Kyle and several other people have been involved. I seen them out there painting this morning.
Yeah, I told them I was going to stop by and help.
Oh, it looks sweet. It looks sweet. But just getting that going again, getting the home crowd back there cheering us on, but also a familiar opponent in Union County. It's always kind of like a Florida State, Florida, Georgia.
No matter what.
It doesn't matter record, it doesn't matter stats. It comes down to Friday night play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as a team, I would always address my team, record, knowing, Coach Thomas and what he's been able to do in our area as a head football coach. He's still considered one of the best. So he'll have his guys ready to play. And those 2 losses were close games against bigger schools. And they're still actually undefeated, So it was great opponents that they end up losing those games to, and I think one was maybe an overtime game. So they'll be ready to play, man. It was a dog fight for us over there last year, being down 21 points at halftime. So they're coming in here with a chip on their shoulder. We have the utmost respect for that program. Of course, a guy like I said, Andrew Thomas, who's proven himself on all levels, even when he left Trenton. So we'll have to be prepared. I think the type of offense that they run, you have to be disciplined on defense. You have to stay in your gaps and make sure you do your job. It'll be a fun night. It'll definitely be a fun night, and they'll be ready to play. I know that for sure.
Certainly. And then as far as just offense and defense getting ready for this game, what do you see kind of like, not giving away any game plans, but just kind of where you want to address some issues or see improvements on?
I think everywhere on the field. Right, some runs that Keenan had, I thought on this past Friday, I think the offensive line did a great job up front. I don't think we finished our blocks as receivers on the perimeter, right? Because sometimes, right, you're not expecting for certain plays to pop or hit the way they do at times. And we had a couple 10-yard to 15-yard runs that probably could have been, right, 50-yard touchdowns if we finish our blocks on the perimeter as far as our receiver unit. And, just being able to just continue to get reps with young guys, because I think that's that's pretty much what it boils down to. When the young guys continue to get reps and we're able to get reps, we haven't gotten any rain or bad weather, so we've been able to have the full practice. And I think that's how you learn. That's how you get better. We actually record some of our practices, so I'm able to pull some of those guys who might be in my PE class, or we catch them down here doing lunch, and we kind of go over practice. So defensively, I think we're playing at a high level, but there's still certain things that, having good players kind of make up for some of those mistakes. Right? We have to be on point with this type of offense that Union County runs, because last year we were out of our gaps, Matt, and it was a 80-yard touchdown. Right? Very next possession, they get it back on offense again. It was a 50, 60-yard touchdown. And it was all because we were out of our gaps. And the quarterback made the right reads, the right handoff. But we got to help ourselves, and I think we'll be more prepared going in.
And we talk about Union County with the type of offense they run, and they've shown different things on tape and stuff, trying to hide some of that.
Yes.
We know that. We know that game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you see on their stats that they're basically three runs for every pass that they throw. So they're, regardless of how much they run, they're still not a passing team. So we know to stay home. We know that their quarterback is basically reading and keying off our defense. So it's really just us against us. We stay home.
We stay home and
dominate.
stay disciplined. We have a great chance to win the football game. And again, just knowing the history of Coach Thomas, he wants to run the football. No matter what, he wants to run the football. And we definitely respect that. So if we stay home, we can set ourselves up.
Good deal. And now we have a little special thing going this week. I asked the fans about questions, and you answered one already about special teams. Pat Marinello asked that one. We had Willie Roper, which you're familiar with that name. Willie.
Teammate.
Teammate from you. But he wanted to know, did you ever think that the Hawthorne football program would be in this point, this stage as a program, not just this year?
As a program, I mean, at this level, I can't say no, because even when I took over as the head coach, I had a purpose behind it, right? Of course, having great mentors like Kent Johnson, Sonny McGraw, of course, playing under guys like Andy Reid, of course, Urban Meyer. There were a lot of things that, I learned from them that, I felt like, I can bring to Hawthorne as a coach. And that's building the right coaching staff, having great kids playing here for you. So I knew if, we continue with those small things, that the big things would come. But to be honest, at this level, I don't know, Matt. This is a different level. I mean, we're being talked about, whether it's good or bad, all over the state of Florida. So, I mean, just that alone tells me that we're getting somebody's attention, right? Guys are flying out of here, going to school. All the college coaches are coming here to recruit kids, and I have really good kids. I don't know about this level. I figured, the program would change and we'll have, some pretty good years. But now, when you talk about program, and I always tell people, when you talk about program, right, that's every year. And when you talk about having a good team, every blue moon you might have one, but we have a program. Right. I don't think, no matter what happens, our program will be one of the best. I really feel that way, just because of the coaching staff we have here, the people around our program, the players we have. It'll continue to grow, and I really believe we're just getting started. So the future is definitely bright.
Well, it's certainly nice to see. And you mentioned about building a program versus just a season. You can have a couple good teams here and there, and we've seen testimonies of that, but we've also seen testimonies of those good programs like St. Thomas Aquinas and some of those
year in, year out.
That you see that are there year in, year out, regardless of the pieces as far as on the team or the coaching staff that change as far as your assistants. But you're able to bring these people in and bring the community in and put all the people where they're going to be successful, whether they're on the field, they're in the press box, in the supporting role of the booster club. You're able to coordinate that. So you're coaching the kids on the team, but you're also coaching everybody else.
And I don't know if people really understand like the magnitude of like the people around your program. Right, on Friday nights, I don't have to worry about anything but coaching, which is a great feeling because I'm not saying every year that I've been coaching it's been like that.
Right.
You know, so the right people are in place, right? There's people in the concession, there's people helping with the yard markers, there's people announcing the game, there's people helping with, you know, post-game meals, pre-game meals. Everyone has a part to play, and I think we're right up there with some of those top schools, right? Of course, right? It happens year in and year out, right? Kids are going to transfer; they're going to go play, right? But that coach, that particular coach, and I'm not even talking about here, right? You have to make sure this kid is unselfish to get on the field with other good players, right? Because the ball might not come to him all the time. You have to make sure it's the right scheme. So even when you get transfers, it doesn't mean you're going to win a state championship. It doesn't mean, right, you're going to have success all year, right? The right people have to be in place, and that's from top to bottom. And I think we have the right people in place, and a lot of people might think it's something so small, but it means everything to your entire program.
Yeah, and it makes it easier on everybody when everybody's clicking on the same cylinder there.
Yep.
Well, and one thing that is new, that's going to be new this week, which is going to be exciting to see, is the new webcast we got.
So let's go.
I know I sent you a picture of it. It looks almost like an ESPN thing.
Yeah, it looks
we got
good.
some tweaks we're going to do, but we also have some camera people we can use on the sideline to feed into it. So, but that's going to give more people an opportunity to also be a part of the program as well too, by being Hornet Quarterback Club sponsors. So you can sponsor and get on there and find out how to get involved throughout the broadcast. But we're also going to have the Cash App to where they can go on there during the game and they can send money during that time as well on the Venmo. So hopefully that'll generate a little more support and we'll be able to do even more things for the students.
Absolutely. Whatever you guys can do, we definitely appreciate it. And it's been fun. And again, like I said just a few minutes ago, it hasn't always been like that. So right, to get on the bus and to know you have, 3 coolers full of unlimited Gatorades. I mean, not just, the big away games, but even like I said, in some of the earlier shows, right? Guys come down by the gym and want a Gatorade or snack or something if they missed lunch or they didn't want the lunch. It goes a long way, and I think it's been awesome so far for our program. So again, from the head football coach here at Hawthorne, middle high, our program, top to bottom, I want to say thank you for everyone who's supporting. Even if you're just logging on and watching the games, like, it means everything. I kid you not, Matt, probably the last 4 weeks, at least the last 4 weeks, someone has texted me, sent me a message on Twitter about, hey man, I wore my Hawthorne shirt here, and 3-4 people stopped me, right? So it's a great buzz right now in the town. It'll continue to be that way for a while, but it's just an awesome feeling, man. It has never ever been like this at Hawthorne. Right. So I'm definitely honored to be the head coach at this particular time.
Well, it's good to have you, and it's good to have you all joining us here for the Coaches Show. We're going to kick this back out and get ready for this Friday night for Union County. And if you'd like more information on how you can be involved or if you have ideas, please share them with us. But for myself, Matt Surrency, and Coach CI, we appreciate you joining us. And we'll see y'all Friday night. Wear your Hawthorne stuff.
Wear your Hawthorne.
And if you're out of town, wear your Hawthorne stuff. Take a picture and put it on the stream. So we'll check you out there and see where you're at. So thank you once again, and we'll see you Friday night.
Go Hornets.